Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be talking about a case that I came across in one of the most bizarre ways, truly. So I was scrolling on X and I saw this post come up. So it just says best BBL in the game or whatever. Okay, so I just thought it was a post about plastic surgery because I do follow a lot of plastic surgeries before and after. I think it's interesting, whatever. So I thought it was just that. I was almost about to scroll and something said, go check the comments. So I go to check the comments, then I see this. Didn't she leave her 7-year-old son at home by himself for 2 weeks to take a vacation? So initially I was like, is this just misinformation? Is someone just typing some like crazy shit to put in the comments? But I was like, no, let me go see. So I went to see if this was effectively true to any which degree, because leaving a child alone for 2 weeks when they're 7. I found this article that says, Basketball Wives Drea Michelle says son never taken from her. Police say otherwise. A 7-year-old Wyoming boy was coming home from school to an empty apartment and spending nights alone while his mother worked in Philadelphia, Borough Police said Friday. The boy told police that he would get off the bus most days and wait for someone to leave or enter the gated parking garage under the apartment complex in blah 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 address. His mother, Andrea M. Howard, 25, would leave the apartment door unlocked and microwave dinners in the freezer for him, they said. Police arrested Howard at the apartment Thursday night on a charge of endangering the welfare of a child. She remained free on $25,000 bail after arraignment before a district judge. So this is according to court records, and I have also looked at court records. A policeman found the boy alone in a disheveled apartment December 16th about 2 a.m. after the boy called 911 and told dispatchers he was home alone. He told patrolman Kevin M. Quinter that he called his mother's cell phone about 20 times to find out where she was. He last spoke to her when he called her after getting off the bus. She said she was at a tanning salon and would be home soon. The apartment looked like it had been ransacked with women's undergarments scattered throughout the living room. A small dog was in a cage and dog feces and urine were in several places in the apartment. While Quinter talked to the boy, the youth got a TV dinner from the freezer, stood on the counter, and put it in the microwave. Police called the boy's grandmother, who took him home. She said she'd been watching her grandson while Howard went to her job overnight in Philadelphia, but she had not been babysitting the boy for a few months. Howard, who said she worked as a model, returned home about 8:45 a.m. and police told her her son was in the care of the county Children and Youth Services while they investigated. They charged Howard on December 30th but did not immediately arrest her because she agreed to surrender to sheriff's deputies. When she didn't, police went to the apartment and arrested her. This is a lot. Now, I don't watch Basketball Wives, so I have no particular investment in like the characters in that show. I have no knowledge beyond what I've read here. Not that it's relevant, but I did just want to point that out. I don't expect a lot from social media and a lot of the people on social media. I don't have high expectations, high hopes, because truly that is a lost cause. But it was crazy because when I look at the comments under that tweet saying that she has the best BBL in the game, whatever, there were people there trying to say like, oh, why are you bringing up these child endangerment charges when we're here to talk about her BBL? Which I do agree to an extent with not turning things into whataboutism, right? So like if I tell you, hey, I like this person's dress, I don't need you to tell me their life story and be like, oh, well, did you know that in 2012 they called person so-and-so a bitch? Whatever, right? Like I don't need to know that. That's not relevant to me saying she has a nice dress. But people are acting like this is equivalent to that in the sense of when you're talking about someone having the best BBL in the game, obviously you might not even know who the person is like I didn't, and that's completely fair. But the craziest part is that there were people in the comments who were fully aware of this child endangerment thing and were like, oh, well, that's a different story. Well, I guess you can say that someone has a nice body, but is that not kind of ruined for you by the fact that they treated their child that way? It's a little bit like when people say, and I'm not saying this is identical, but it's when they say a murderer is hot. And I'm like, how do you separate the person from what they did? It's kind of like when you stop listening to musicians. There's some musicians and everyone makes their own rules, so you decide what you want to do. But for me, if I find out, say Chris Brown, I liked Chris Brown back in the day when I was like, what, 9? Then when the whole thing happened with Rihanna, I was like, no, this is not someone I want to be listening to. And if you decide you still want to listen to the musician, do what you want to do. Nobody can stop you. But most people probably won't entirely agree with that. And the other thing is also, like, there were people trying to justify saying, oh, like, this was years ago. And it's like, okay, the years ago excuse is valid for, you know, silly immaturity, in my opinion. I do draw the line when it's child neglect and child endangerment, because it's like, how you were an adult then, you're an adult now. Like, yeah, you obviously fucked up big time. Would I like to think that you're doing better now? Yeah. But that's also not something I'm just gonna dismiss as like, oh, that was 7 years ago or whatever, so now things are different. But it was kind of funny because, again, we return to this typical social media topic of people are canceled for stupid shit all the time. And then most people can come back from being canceled, to be clear. But then you see things like this where you're like, why would any brand or any company that has a social media presence want to hire someone like this who already had their own presence via Basketball Wives? Because anyone who sees them now with a tiny bit of digging will be like, oh, which then reflects badly on the brand as well. But what I'm thinking is a lot of people seem to not think this is a big deal, which is a little bit terrifying to me, to be honest. Like, in the grand scheme of levels of crime, this is not insignificant. Like, we're talking about the well-being of a child. Now, the reason this also came up on my timeline is that she recently posted on her story, I believe it was, a picture of this same son having graduated. But by posting this image of her child graduating, a lot of people interpreted it as her taking credit for her hard work that her son graduated. And people are like, well, you know, like, did you really do the work though? So I don't know. I just thought this was interesting because it's one of those stories, like, aside from everything that happened, just as a general concept, you know, when you click on a tweet and you have no idea the rabbit hole you're going to fall down, that's basically what happened here. And in fact, I was thinking at some point of potentially making a series of these kinds of things where there's a tweet with someone in it and you think nothing of it, and then you click and you're like, oh, there's like an entire backstory to all of this. Regardless, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think people are extremely selective with canceling people? I think we probably are all going to agree that it is a very selective process, in the sense of some people get away with the unthinkable and some people do something silly and it's over. Anyway, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.